Good morning, everybody. It is Monday. Gotta love Mondays. I'm not sure that we want to, but you gotta. I mean, you just have to do it. I'm going to talk about that. Did you know there is one thing that you can do to set your day straight? I'm going to talk about that in a minute. One thing that you can do to set your day the most productive you can possibly make it. One thing, and we'll get to that. You want to hang on with this one and don't go away for that, okay? Good morning. My name is Jay. My wife Vicki and I, we lead this amazing church called The Gate in Northwest Indiana, Chicagoland area. Loving what we're doing. Just yesterday, had a house full of people in our hub. And just enjoyed great conversation. We always say that, in case you in case you don't understand what we're doing. We have the Gate is just a network of home churches that we gather together once a month in wherever the locations are, as far as all together. I think we call it Gate Celebration, which this Sunday is Gate Celebration, and we do that once a month. But really, all over is everybody gathers in their homes, and we have hubs just everywhere. And so we just do that. We feel like it's just, hey, let's take the church into the neighborhood. Just meet in the neighborhood and just kind of go from there. So, and we love what we're doing, and come to you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday like this, just simply to say, hey, you're here, I'm here, we're all here together. I don't want you to be alone. Let's do this thing together. Loneliness is being alone and doing things. Sometimes you got to stand up and be alone. Sometimes the Bible says even Jesus went to lonely places on a very frequently, usually all night, to just be with his Father. That's one thing. But there's no reason to be lonely. One, Jesus said, I will never leave you or forsake you. Number two, we're here. And we can connect any way that we possibly can. Me, our whole team, and everybody would just connect together. So that's kind of what all that is about. So I start out with that. The one thing that you can do to make your day more productive than anything. So I don't know if you remember when you were a kid, or maybe you still do. Maybe you did it with your kids, but there was this, it's really a poem. It's not a prayer, but we would call it a prayer. And prayer is talking to God, not about God. Maybe praise is talking about God, but really talking to God is prayer. But this was always said as a prayer. Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. And I think that was something that people would pray. It was kind of a nice little rhyming thing, but it was really a poem. It's not a prayer. Remember, prayer is directly. It would be like if I said I'm talking to Vicki, but I just talk about her with her in the room, the only one in the room. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, does it? No. So anyway, my point is this. My point is, as we're walking through this, my point is, you're not promised tomorrow. You're not promised today. In other words, how do you honor your day? How do you make today count? We call this make today count. How do you do that? Simply by one way, and that is making it or believing it's an honor to wake up. This morning I was laying there, and I kind of laid there a bit longer than I normally do, just kind of reflecting and praying a little bit. And when I pulled back the covers, there's just this one thing that, like, whoa, I get to get up and do today. That's amazing. And I thought about that, and I started thinking, there is this idea that we have that every single thing that we do is kind of a drudgery. Simon Sinek said there's two kinds of people in the world. People that see what they want and go after it, and other people see what's standing in their way of what they want. And usually it deters them. And I think that is so powerful in the idea of what we have for today. The reality is that today you have a day. You literally have an opportunity to make it count, like we always say. But the reality is You have an entire moment where every morning you wake up, you can either rewrite the script, continue on the script you're on, throw away the script you're at and say, I'm starting over, whatever the case is. But every morning is a fresh canvas. And that's something that we need to understand, is that it's a new opportunity and it's a privilege that we often take for granted. It's something that we need to realize, that it's an honor to wake up every single morning and open it up with gratitude and praise, and consider the simple yet profound thought that every morning God is new. Every morning, it says there, He is new every morning. Good morning, Francis. Blessings on you. Every single morning we wake up, it is a brand new day, and God has a new mercy, a new thing. He's never going to get old on you. He's never, the idea that God is ancient. He's called the Ancient of Days. Now, so don't get me wrong on that. But he sits outside of time. That's why I can say of him that a day is 1,000 years and 1,000 years is a day. That kind of thing is because what he's saying, what the writer's saying on that is that God sits out of time. He's not any older than he was the first recollection that you had him, and he's not any younger. He's just there. He's just God. He's outside of time. He invented time. He created time. So therefore, he has to be outside of time. Good morning, Scott. Blessings on you today. And so my point is this, is if we're going to be a child of God, we're going to walk with him, and we're going to talk with him, and we're going to go in those areas, we need to realize that every single morning you wake up, it is an honor. You need to wake up out of bed and go, thanks. This is amazing. I get to do this all over again. I get to kiss Vicky on the cheek all over again, hug her. I get to make coffee for her all over again. What an honor. What an honor it is to be in the lives of the people that I'm in the lives with. That's not a little deal. That's a big, big deal. Good morning, Phyllis. Blessing. Happy Monday to you too. And I think the reality comes down to is this, is that when we realize that, then we can actually say, I have a purpose here on this earth. If God so honored me to live today, the now I lay me down to sleep and I pray the Lord my soul to keep, if I die before I wake, type of idea. Because we're not promised tomorrow. Well, I'm not promised getting through this whole day, so I might as well pack it full of everything that I want to do. I think it was John Wesley would go to sleep every night asking himself, first, have I done everything that I was supposed to do? A man looked at him one day. He was out picking apples. And he looked at him and says, Reverend Wesley, Dr. Wesley, what are you doing? He goes, I'm picking apples. He goes, why? There is a world dying and going to hell, and all you're doing is picking apples? And he goes, yeah, I'm picking apples. And the man just shook his head and walked away. And John Wesley understood the fact of this. He had done everything that he was supposed to do. And he could pick apples. And maybe part of that day that he was supposed to do is maybe it was on his agenda to pick apples. And I think sometimes we sit back and we get overwhelmed with life and we get overwhelmed with all of it. But the reality comes down to is this. Every one of us, you, me, our spouses, our people around us, we're all given the exact same amount of time. And you have the choice. You have the ability to either look at it and say, man, it's just too hard. Look what all I have to go through to do this. We're doing things now in the gate. I had one person look at me just the other night, Friday night I think it was. We were at a party. And he looks at me and he goes, talking about what we're doing with our church and home churches and gate hubs and all the different things that we're doing with housing and everything else. And he goes, man, that's brave. That's brave. And I never thought of it that way. I never thought about it being brave, but I guess it is. Because sometimes, the Bible was very clear on some of the things that we have to realize and do is that he says, I want you to understand, God did not give you a spirit of fear. And why would he say that if we weren't going to deal with fear, if we weren't going to deal with grappling with something to take hold of that was going to take bravery and courage? The Bible is filled with scriptures and accounts of men and women that were grappling with discouragement, things that were causing them to not be encouraged and courageous and strong and mighty and powerful. And I think the reality comes down to is this. Basically, we just need to wake up with that purpose and figure out another way to honor the gift that we have, and that's a new day. That's today. That's how we make today count. And then probably one of the best ways to do it is just to sit back in the morning, get up an hour earlier than you need to even start getting ready, and just take that hour and reflect. Reflect on the past days, but you can also reflect on the coming day. You can reflect on that in the idea of, okay, when I go to sleep, I'm going to thank God that I did this, and you can do it in the future, and that really upsets the enemy. When you start giving thanks for things that are yet to come, that's when it upsets hell. Because what is it to give thanks to God for something he's done in the past? We're supposed to. That's praise. We're supposed to do that. Give thanks to God for the things in the past. Give thanks for him, what he's doing right now. But if you really want to treat him as God, is give thanks to him for the things he's already promised that hasn't come through yet. You start thanking him like that, and you will ruffle hell's feathers. If hell has feathers, I don't know. Anyway, you'll get it all worked up big time. So today, honor the day. It's an honor that I'm talking with you right now, live, or if you're watching it on demand. It's an honor for this to happen. It's an honor for you to hear this. It's an honor for you to go in and kiss your spouse good morning and love your kids and walk into that place of work, even if you hate your job. It's an honor. So let's go out and do it. All right? That's what I've got for you today. Share this post, give it to somebody, and go out there and let's do it together. Remember, don't forget that Ephesians 2:10, Philippians 4:8, and Lamentations 8:20. It's going to be this is what you need to live on today, all right? Let me pray for you, and let's go. Heavenly Father, I thank you so much for today. I thank you for that you are the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, and we ask that today you will give us that purpose that you have for us. Fulfill the promises that you have put in our heart to accomplish, and the Lord will continue to go after them, no matter how you do it, when you do it, or why you do it. We'll just go after it. In Jesus' name, amen. Blessings on you guys, and don't forget, make today count, because you're better than yesterday, but you're not near as good as tomorrow. All right? Have a great day.